Well, hello, my name is Rachel Mason. I am the Associate Director of First Year Recruitment here at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. I am also an unapologetically enthusiastic alum of the university, so it is certainly my pleasure to congratulate all of your families and your students on their acceptance to UMass Amherst. Really, just an amazing achievement. I am part of the team that read all 51,000 applications. So you are certainly joining a select few and very happy that you're considering joining the University of Massachusetts Amherst family. To kind of get us started and get to know one another a little bit, I've got some polls here that I would love to ask a few questions. First off, let's launch this first one. Where is everyone coming to from us to us? Are you in state? Are you out of state? Are you international? We are certainly the Commonwealth's flagship university, but many of our students come to us from outside of Massachusetts. And it looks like we're breaking down just about the way that we would expect for our incoming class. Give everyone a second here. Oh, actually, out-of-staters, you are outpacing the in-states. I'm so glad that you're able to join us virtually today. And it looks like everyone's pretty excited about their acceptance to the university. Certainly, wherever you choose to attend, looking for the right fit is important. But regardless, the achievement of being accepted to UMass Amherst is one that you should definitely appreciate and enjoy. And I'm so excited to see that enthusiasm today. Oh, there's lots of reasons to come to UMass. Certainly, our outstanding academic record, distinguished faculty, an opportunity to really grow and learn. What I love about UMass Amherst is not only the opportunity to delve into what your students are interested in exploring further, but also to discover new things that perhaps they hadn't even considered. As a flagship research university, your students will have the opportunity to interact and learn from faculty who are engaged in real world research, looking at problems around the globe, searching for answers, and your students can be part of that process. Very active campus. There's no question about it. If you're looking for a group of people who truly believe they can make a positive impact in the world, then you're looking at the right institution. And of course, we can't forget #1 dining in the United States, according to the Princeton Review, for the last 6 years running. So definitely something that may ultimately may not tip the scales for you, but I've got to say, once you're on campus, you will not regret making that choice. Well, thank you to all of you for joining us today and giving us a little more insight into who you are. Let's go ahead and share these results so everyone can see. What I love too is the opportunity to connect with other families and to learn about their experiences. And so I'm excited when we're able to get to that portion of the presentation today where you get to hear directly from parents and their experiences and what their students have experienced as well. So let's dive right into that, actually. Let's go and start talking with our families. Let me introduce you to our panel of parents. Bernadette Carr, if you want to join us there.
Hi, I'm Bernadette Carr. Welcome. Wonderful to be with you today.
Thank you for coming. Gina Fishman, would you like to join us?
I will. Nice to see you all today. Hope you we can answer all your questions, and welcome to UMass, hopefully.
Absolutely. And Jody.
Welcome.
And finally, our fourth panelist, Tara.
Hi, I'm Tara Schneider from New Jersey, and my son is a junior this year in Eisenberg. I'm looking forward to saying whatever you need to hear about his experience.
Oh, that's great. So we just get to share our experiences. I'd love for our two tour guides to jump on. These are current students who'll be answering your questions in the Q&A. Would each of you like to introduce yourselves, please? And perhaps where you're from and your major as well.
Hi, my name is Diana. I'm one of the tour guides. Congratulations to everyone out here. I am a managerial economics major. I'm currently a senior, and I'm from Mumbai, India. So I'm an international student.
Fantastic.
Hi everyone, my name is Fayo. I'm also a senior. I'm a double major in marketing and communications minor psychology, and I'm also an international student as I live and I'm from Nigeria.
Thank you, both of you, for taking time on this Sunday afternoon to join us and answer questions in our Q&A. I always am amazed at all the things that our students are able to accomplish, and really appreciate them taking time out of their day. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put a few questions here to our panelists. The first one is, where are you living from? Where are you living? I'm sorry, I apologize. Wrong question there. So based on your experience, why would you advise another family, students, to really consider and become a part of the UMass family? And why don't we hand it to Bernadette first?
Hello again, everyone. Let's see, I want to make sure you get all the information from me. I have two daughters. One is class of 2024, one is class of 2025. The oldest has just enjoyed completing the first year of the Accelerated Masters in Public Health program. They call it 4+1 at UMass Amherst. Year prior, she had spent a year studying global health at VU in Amsterdam. And thanks to incredible guidance from her advisor and the team that manages studying abroad at UMass Amherst, she visited 7 countries, learned a lot about what we need to think about on this planet about public health, and is excited to infuse that into what she's learning at UMass Amherst. And when she's not focused on her education, she has enjoyed leadership roles at this wonderful little sweet shop on campus that's apparently an institution called Sweets and More, and has made a lot of friends there. Our other daughter, class of 2025, very proud of being a member of Eisenberg, is a marketing major with a minor in English, and also cultivated a great relationship with her advising team, planned early, did J-term classes, and was able to enjoy electives at University of Manoa in Hawaii. She is there right now. She just finished a 10K. She is a barista on campus and is absolutely loving studying Hawaiian culture and language, history, literature. And she's also studying coding while she's there, and is looking forward to returning and being a part of the marketing club again, and enjoying her senior year here after her semester. And we hail from Manchester by the Sea, Massachusetts. They both attended public schools here in Massachusetts. And when they made their decision to join the student body at UMass Amherst, the fact that UMass Amherst has such an incredible, robust system for them to enjoy experiences out of state was incredibly meaningful for them. And it's been a success for our family.
Oh, fantastic. It sounds like she's taking advantage of so many opportunities offered. And yes, Sweets Cafe is one of our student-run businesses. UMass Amherst actually is among the top-ranking institutions in terms of the number of student-run businesses. Great place to get a milkshake too. So, you know, these are important factoids. Gina, please, we'd love to hear from you.
I'm Gina Fishman. My daughter Charlotte is a senior. She's a communication major and art minor. She will attest that Sweets and More, when she was living up in the O Hill area, was her go-to spot, probably more often than not. I would get pictures of milkshakes on Sundays and all the other great snacks. So I highly recommend Sweets and More for anybody that has a sweet tooth. My daughter was actively involved. She's trying to pull back now because she's looking to graduate in the film production club. She's trying to hand over the reins to the underclassmen, so that way they can keep the club going. But she's when she picked UMass, she didn't know what she wanted. Rural, suburban, small, big, it was all over the place. She literally stepped foot on campus. We got out of the car and her eyes just lit up. I'm like, well, if we get in, we're done. So for her, it was an instant. She knew it, and we went with it, and we let her decide. And it's been a great experience for her these past 4 years.
Fantastic. Jody, your family.
There we go. Hi, I'm Jody Trotterman. My son Max is a senior in Eisenberg. I'm trying to remember what he's studying. Operations in information management, minor in econ. He's part of Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity, and he's in a band. He's been in a band since high school, so that's exciting for him. Why UMass? My husband and I did not persuade him only UMass, but we both did go there. We both had phenomenal experiences, but my son wanted a top business school, and instead of going to other schools that shall not be named that are in Massachusetts, he did agree that UMass was a better option. Plus, the amount of opportunities that exist at UMass Amherst exceeded anyone's expectations besides my son, just his friends in general. There's just so much to do, so much to find out. As large a school as it is, you can definitely make it your own, which is what he did, and found his group of people.
Now, finding your community is so important as possible, and students do it every day. And the university is definitely invested in making sure that students have pathways to make those connections. So I'm so glad to hear that that was his experience. Tara, please round us out on this question.
Hi, everyone. So my son Michael is a junior at Eisenberg. He's an accounting major, and he didn't know where he wanted to go, but he knew he wanted accounting. And we were not looking at UMass on his list. And then my cousin, who graduated from UMass as an accounting major and now owns his own firm, said, "How can you not look at UMass? It's the #1 accounting program in New England. You have to look at it." And he wanted to go to Massachusetts. So we took a detour and went to visit campus, and that was it for him. He knew that was the place for him, and he loves the food. That is one of the real serious selling points for him. But he's involved in the Accounting Association through Eisenberg. He loves to study at Eisenberg, the building, and just be around people who are like-minded. He was able to work on campus helping seniors with their taxes last year in the spring semester with one of his professors. He's part of the Alpha Phi Omega service fraternity, and he's been able to get involved in the community of Amherst through that. He's done the food bank. He does a merit badge university for local Boy Scouts, and he's helped out with some 5Ks in the area, that kind of thing. And one of the things he does love about being in Amherst is the nature, the part that's around it. So he goes for lots of walks on the rail trails. He walks up to town. He just likes to be outside and doing things in town. So it's just been a really nice experience for him. He's in the honors college as well, so he's in some pretty nice housing. I keep telling him it's nicer than he might get outside when he leaves UMass, but he enjoys it, and it's just been a nice experience for him. He's admitted it's the right place for him, and he's glad he found his way there.
Oh, fantastic. It's so good to hear all these stories. Well, let's talk a little bit more, expanding on it. Tell us, what has your students' experience at UMass been like thus far? All the different aspects, maybe even something that surprised them along the way. Bring it up, please.
Well, for our daughters, what was such an eye-opening positive experience for them as they navigated life freshman year, and again, getting to know these advisors, they realized that they could design what they wanted to learn about. And so I believe that UMass Amherst provides a lot of flexibility for students to focus on what's interesting to them and almost in some ways create their own majors. And they really appreciated the flexibility where they could craft their learning experience and have some have some say in that. It wasn't necessarily always dictated to them. And that sense of academic freedom has been very empowering for both.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Gina.
I'm gonna start out with probably what is turning into a feel-good story. Class of 2024, freshman and sophomore years were bumpy. We kept encouraging her, talked to her advisors, talked to the UMass has a ton of services for like academic support, and the disability office is amazing. Somewhere about a year or so ago, my daughter, well, she brought her car to campus. We're like, that's great. You need a job because you're paying for your gas, and you need to, if you're going places, you're doing this. She ended up, because one of her roommates convinced her to come down to the daycare on campus and apply for a teaching assistant job. So this is my daughter that I never, ever thought would have liked dealing with preschoolers, as 3 and 4-year-old kids. And she has been there now for over a year. She stayed at Amherst last summer and worked full time with the daycare as a teaching assistant. It's an option for the kids. There are a lot of work opportunities on campus, either food service or rec center, or they're there. You just need to find what you like. And in my daughter's case, she liked the idea of making money. So she ended up at the daycare, and now she absolutely, there's not a story that she doesn't tell us about the kids, obviously speaking very generically about them as she has to, where she's not just bubbling with excitement about what they do during the day. You know, they'll make birthday cards for her, they'll make birthday cards for her sister. It's this great. So because she needed the money, which sounds very bad to word it that way, but she discovered something on campus that truly does spark her soul. So we will see where the communication and the arts degree, how it fits into with the little kids, and if she can possibly take them all and make him into something that's going to be rewarding for her. So there may be bumpy starts. That's my only statement. And I'll elaborate on that later, but there are ways to figure out which way you're going to go, and it all works out in the end. So that's my daughter's journey so far.
Absolutely. The transition to college is always going to be a challenge. And then to do it in the years of COVID, I just applaud your families for surviving this and having positive experiences. Jody, please, we'd love to hear from you.
Well, the experience so far, it has been wonderful for him, and even though he's a musician, he's still quiet and he is still shy. And what I can't say another school wouldn't do right by him, but UMass definitely afforded him so many opportunities to get out, do different things, meet new people, and he's grown tremendously. I mean, he will talk to people, but now it's just more like as I talk to people, you know, in the market. So he's not going to go that far, but he's just definitely putting himself out there more. He's always felt challenged. He's known the resources that do exist. If he wanted to explore something that was maybe not his comfort zone, he could do that, has done that, and just loves it. He would tell everyone that they should go to UMass Amherst. He really would.
That's awesome. Thank you. And Tara, last but not least, of course.
So my son is a bit of an introvert, maybe a lot of an introvert. So he wasn't sure about any of this, but he figured it out. And one of the things we had to do is sort of let him figure that out and not fix it for him or save him. And so once he got through that first semester and realized like what there was to offer and what else he could do on campus, and that he sort of had this freedom and independence that nobody was going to tell him what to do or where to go. He really started to get involved on campus and with the organizations that are part. So he tried a lot of organizations, a lot of clubs, and figured out for himself what he liked and what he didn't like, and also gave himself the grace to say, this is not for me, this is for me. And he grew up a lot being on campus. So we're from New Jersey, and it's about just under 3 hours from our house to UMass. So he was far enough away that nobody was going to pop in on him and surprise him on campus without a call first. But also he could come home if he needed to. So he knew that, and he knows that still. He doesn't like to drive, so he doesn't have his own car, but any one of us is willing to go up and just kind of hang out with him and stay overnight, or pick him up, bring him home for, you know, if he'll come home for 4 days, that's what we tell him. It's got to be like a 4-day thing, just because it's a bit of a long drive. But it's been nice, and he has really grown up, and it has been a great experience to watch him grow, not only personally, but also academically, and really figure out his strengths. When he realized how strong he was with math and numbers, and that accounting is exactly what he should be doing, just because it really comes very easily to him, he was just so thrilled. And then when his professors started to sort of recognize you know, what he could do, and bring him into different opportunities, he has blossomed a lot. So it's been a great experience, and I don't know that he would have had the same experience at a different school. So I think he's right where he belongs.
Absolutely. I'd actually like to invite our tour guides to come back on screen, if we could do that, and have you answer this question as well. You know, what has your experience been thus far at UMass? And I'll let you guys decide who goes first.
I can go first. Okay. So the question is, what has my experience been at UMass? If I'm correct.
Yes, thus far, what has your experience been like?
I would say it's been good. I was telling Deanna, because Deanna and I have been tour guides since we were freshmen. And when we started this meeting, I messaged and I was like, I can't believe we're doing this as seniors. So it's a bittersweet moment as a senior saying this right now. But I think my experience so far has definitely been one to remember, I think. And I just want to always identify that every single student is very different. So my experience could be different from Deanna's experience, could be different from someone else. But I think personally, UMass gave me a lot of things, especially as an international student. When I came into UMass, the most important thing is like my professional career, like what am I going to do after college and stuff like that. But UMass sort of practically answered all those questions for me. The support that I received when it came to like just my education, but like my goals, my professional goals, I really got so much support. My parents have been to UMass twice, but are UMass's biggest fans. Like I've had a great time so far. And I think that's something that majority of our students will tell you. And it really does show through who we are and like the values that we emulate. But pass it off to Dan.
Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, please, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I think for me, I was absolutely terrified when I first came here. I was in an absolute state of shock because it was very different from the city where I live. It was small. It was a small, tiny bubble, and I was not used to that. And as soon as I came in, I was in absolute shock. But the minute I stepped foot out here, I realized that the minute you find your community, that's it for you. And that's what I eventually did. I joined the tour guide community. I joined different clubs. I found people in my major. I found people in my residential dorms. And as time has gone by, these tiny communities have really made this small bubble my home where I could not see myself wanting to go to school anywhere else. I think it's helped me find a sense of who I am really. As Fire said, when I came in, I was all about academics and career driven, and I didn't really think I knew myself, but I was just focusing on these external things that we were supposed to be focusing on. But when I came in here, I realized that school is way more than just the academics or the career goals that you have. It's also about your experiences and how you grow as an individual. So, of course, I have to give all credit to all the academics and the great stuff that we do have out here, but it also has helped me find a sense of who I am, which I'm really grateful for.
No, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing. And I love that reoccurring theme that we're hearing about different types of people. That this is not necessarily just a university for really outgoing or maybe a little more introverted individuals. People coming from near and far and finding their community. That really is something that we strive for, and it's really good to hear that it is actually an experience that students are having. So, any words of wisdom for a family member or student about the college decision process? Bernadette, do you want to go first?
I think that if you can make it as positive and joyful for your family and your future student as possible, that's key. We enjoyed a lot of fun, lighthearted road trips to visit schools all over the country, and then ultimately landed on a school in state. And our daughters walked away from feeling like I had choices, I'm empowered in this choice. I did a lot of research. I had a lot of fun doing the research, and I feel really good about my choice. So try to make it joyful if you can.
Absolutely. Gina.
My only advice is have your student trust their gut. They're gonna know, like I said, my daughter, we stepped foot on campus, she opened the door, literally decided this is it. Like, we haven't gone 5 feet. She was done. She was in. If UMass Amherst accepted her, this was a done deal. My other daughter, who's at a different state college, out of state, did something very similar. Got out of the car with my husband the day they toured, and as soon as her feet hit the pavement, she knew this was where she was going. So there are a lot of intangibles. There's a lot of quantitative data. There's qualitative data, but realistically, I believe that the student needs to feel as if this will be a good fit for them. That's my advice.
No, absolutely. Jody.
My number one is always just breathe, keep breathing, relax. They definitely don't have to have all the answers. I know as parents, we don't. We can only guide them, and we can guide them. They're still going to tell us we're wrong. We don't know what we're talking about. And it's not the 70s or 80s anymore, or even 90s. Weighing the financial impact is, in my opinion, that comes into play. It's not that you get what you pay for at UMass Amherst, but you get more. It's really incredible. But I'm deviating back from the question. It's okay that they don't know what they want to do. There are too many kids that are so caught up. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. They'll figure it out. Just as long as they have the options to choose from. It all works out.
And Tara, finally, please.
Yeah, I agree with everything that was said. What I said to him when he had his acceptances in front of him and he was looking to make that decision, I said, where did you feel most at home? What felt like, you can live here, you can be friends, you can have friends here, you can talk to people, you felt like that was the place for you. And that was ultimately UMass Amherst. So that's where he went. But it was a tough decision, especially for someone who gets nervous about any kind of decision. But whatever they choose is probably the right thing for them. And then I said to him, honestly, if you end up in a place that you don't like, you can always, change your mind. That's okay. But give that place that you choose, whatever reason you chose it for, give that a chance before you're, thinking that way. And so he kind of knew that he wasn't stuck anywhere wherever he went, but he knew he made the right decision as well with UMass Amherst.
Fantastic. Well, those are kind of what we are planning to get through and ask questions about, but we also have some more questions coming in. So if you don't mind going with the flow here, one question that we're seeing a lot from families and parents is that choice of residence hall. It's so important where you live, and maybe actually, Tara, you were talking about home. How did your family make that choice around residence, and how did that evolve perhaps over the time at UMass?
So when he started out, when we had visited, he's wanted to live in Southwest because that was the place where everything was happening, and there were 2 dining halls there, and he wanted to be there where the energy was. But he's not really the energy kid, so that wasn't the greatest place for him. But he wanted to stick it out, so he did for a year, and then when he was accepted into the honors college, the summer between freshman and sophomore year, he was able to find an empty spot in honors college in one of the apartments, and so he moved in there, and he's very happy. And it's a different environment, but it's good for him. So there's so many opportunities on campus to go and to live, and they're all different cultures, really. And so it's nice to have all of those choices and find your niche. Really, I think it's great. And he did do a rap his first year, his first semester, so that helped him out a lot to meet some people who had some same interests and meet some people on his floor, because I don't know if he would have been that outgoing to be able to meet those people otherwise.
Absolutely. So the RAP that Tara referred to is a residential academic program. It's one of the opportunities students have coming in as first year. Everyone has to take a first year seminar course, lots of different topics to choose from. By selecting a course that's offered through a RAP, students are not only taking that class together with people who have interests similar to theirs, but they're actually living on the same floor as well. So it creates that community based on liked interests. What was the particular RAP, Tara, that
It was a class on diversity. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was a class on diversity.
fantastic. And the great part too is that that is available to all students. It's no additional cost. They simply need to follow the process. And in everything related to student orientation, pay attention to the deadlines. Deadlines. Things are possible when you stick to the deadlines. We also have questions about connecting to mental health support and other resources on campus. And I know, Gina, you kind of alluded to some challenges there. Can you talk about access? Was it easy? Was it challenging? Was it sufficient?
I feel like I could probably give an hour presentation on this sometimes.
We may ask you to come back and do that.
That's so I'm more than willing to answer any questions anybody has if anybody wants to know. Try to make this brief. Yes, I said it was bumpy. It was very bumpy. We finally took my daughter's IEP from high school and a couple other documents that we had gotten over the summer between, I want to say, freshman and sophomore year, maybe even sophomore to junior year. The process is easy, but given the size of UMass Amherst, my only advice on getting the paperwork started is get it started as soon as you possibly think you might need it, because there are lots and lots of students that the Office of Disability helps. They do provide so many services. I can't list them all. I would probably lose some in the process, but I know my daughter has the opportunity to work one-on-one with a graduate student who helps her sometimes get organized and try to make sure that she's on track and help her if she gets stuck, is what I like to call it. My kid will get stuck because she doesn't know which way to pivot, to go. So this one-on-one support helps her get herself unstuck. There's also, they'll do like 1 hour courses on organization and stress release and wellness and mindfulness, and there are so many different choices. The biggest obstacle that my kid has, because she's an introvert, she's shy and all these other great things, she's afraid to go sometimes, because sometimes she's afraid of the stigma. But when she has gone, there'll be 3, 4 maybe other kids with her, and she's suddenly like, oh, I'm not the only one on campus that has trouble with this or with that or whatever. So it has empowered her to continue, and it has been a godsend for her during her 4 years here. I will say that.
No, absolutely. I'll plug in that what I love about disability support too is that they are staffed, not faculty. So during the summer, they are there. So you can
Yes, they are.
Start talking and communicating with them as soon as possible. I don't want to call anyone out specifically as it relates to your children, but does anyone else on the panel want to speak or have some thoughts on mental health support at the university? Well, I will be happy to say that it is there in abundance, whether that be individual crisis, groups. Also, a lot of activities are created by the student success to encourage and support mental health and well-being. This is certainly important to the university. And I think one thing that you can look at to see because we are a research institution, we like to look at outcomes. We have a 90% retention between freshman and sophomore year, and 80% graduation rate within 4 years. So students are coming and thriving and finding success, which is so very important. There was a question about the Commonwealth Honors College, and it's something that a lot of students are excited about. If students aren't initially invited to participate in the Honors College, they can absolutely apply after their first semester. They need to have achieved a 3.4 GPA. They write an essay. I don't mean to keep going back to you, Tara, but it sounded like that was what your son's experience was.
Yes. So he applied going in. He was not accepted going in. And then he actually applied 2 more times. So he applied after his first semester, for whatever reason was not accepted. I think he was told that there were a lot of applicants. And then he was mad at me, but I had him apply that third time just because I felt like he was doing so well on campus that he might as well give it a shot. And when he was accepted, he was very proud of himself, and that was just a really good boost to the ego that he needed. And so he, immediately started looking, can I get into that housing? And so he did, and he's really enjoyed it. It really is. It's just a different experience, and it's nice. And his roommates are all, in majors that are really big time majors. They're studying a lot, but they're also having fun together, which is really nice. It's been a good experience.
And it's the only housing on campus that has air conditioning. So, there is that plus. I like to say it doesn't matter a lot of the time, but when it matters a lot. And there's more questions coming up in our Q&A regarding housing and roommate selection. I'll speak, there are lots of different ways that you select your housing. You can, if you know someone who's coming to campus that you want to house with, you can select them. If you want to go online, fill out a profile, look at other profiles, you can do that route. If you want to leave it up to chance, you can do it that way as well. So it really just depends on your student's level of involvement and what route makes the most sense for them. I think before we wrap up here, I will speak to a question that's on everyone's mind right now, the FAFSA. It is delayed. It will be coming out. It does change a lot of things. We're not entirely sure how that's going to flesh out. Just know that it's small comfort, but everyone is going through this across the country. We are fingers crossed that the federal government is going to hold to their promise of having it out by mid-March. At this point, we have not moved our deposit deadline, but if students and families need more time, we are going to have flexibility around that date. So you just need to communicate with us. If there's any questions around individual family circumstances, multiple children in college, changes in economics, absolutely contact our financial aid office. You can have a one-on-one meeting to really talk about what your options are. Well, with that, I'm going to thank everyone so much on our panel. And it is now my pleasure to turn the next part over to Jonathan.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Tanwar, and I serve as the Associate Dean of Students and Director of New Student Orientation, Transition, and Family Programs. And so if you have questions about New Student Orientation and our New Student experience, I'm happy to answer those afterwards. But that is not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm here to talk to you about is what my office provides for our parent and families who have students on campus. And so the services I want you to know about is we have Parent and Family Ready for the U. And so part of our new student experience is that when you and your student come to Ready for the U, we want families to come. Families have an opportunity to go alongside with their student for this experience. And so students have a couple of different options. So there are 3 different options for coming to Ready for the U. The first option is that our students can come to our very traditional 2-day on-campus overnight Ready for the U experience. And there are 10 opportunities for them to do that. And so we encourage your students to sign up for those. But we also know that not everybody has the time or flexibility to be here for 2 days. And so you can also come to a 1-day session on campus. And so that'll start right around 8 a.m. and we'll get you done by 5. And so our students are able to take advantage of that one. And families have a schedule that has some sessions where they are with their student. And then we also have some sessions where they're not with their student. And then lastly, we have our online Ready for the U. And during that one, families are with their student and they have some sessions together, some sessions apart. And all of those are options. And there's a family experience for each version of that Ready for the U. And so we encourage our families to attend. We find that for every student that attends, about 1 family member attends on average, with that being that some students bring 2 family members, some students bring no family members. And so we want you to know that those are options. Each of those options have a cost associated. So if a family member comes with their student to the 2-day on-campus family Ready for the U, that is $100 for each family member. If a family member comes to the 1-day on-campus family ready for the U, that one is $50. And if you attend with your student online, that is free of charge. And so that really just allows us to cover the cost of food and the program supplies and all of those things that families receive while they're on campus with us. So that's one of the really big opportunities that where we really enjoy engaging with our families. And so we hope that you we'll see you throughout the summer with your student. Those dates start on June 11th, going all the way through July 31st. And so we really do hope that you will come with your student this summer. We also have family welcome to the U, and so that will happen during move-in. And so we will have we'll have some events for your students, but then we also have some events for our families. And so we will have you all here, and then we will politely ask you to go home so that we can really focus on your students. But it's a really great time for you and your students to get settled after move-in has happened, and have a good time. And then we'll shift the schedule to being a student-only schedule. And so there are a couple events on the first day of move-in where you can participate with your student, and we're really excited to welcome you for that. Then we have Family Weekend. Family Weekend is where we invite our families back to campus to really get to know more about our campus, to see some of our faculty members, to learn more about your students' college, to really see what Amherst has to offer. And so that will happen this year. We released the Family Weekend dates already. And so that is October 25th through the 27th. And so we hope that you will attend with your student. Promises to be a great time. There is a family reception, there's a welcome, there are lots of opportunities like wagon rides and bonfires or pit fires, all these things that we really hope you will engage with your student. And so really a time for you to connect with your student, but also connect with the institution for a longer period of time. And so we really hope that you all will come back for that. Other than that, we do a lot of communications with families, and so we want you all to be informed about what's happening on campus. And so the main form of communication is through our newsletter, but we also send several one-off emails, usually directed to specific populations. So information about either your student's college or information about commencement or whatever it may be, we will send that information to your families. Lastly, there's an opportunity to be involved in our family advisory council. And so all of these lovely folks that you've gotten to learn from today are part of our family advisory council, and I get to spend lots of time with them. And so I really encourage you that if you like to be involved on campus, like to kind of get some insider knowledge, know some things ahead of time, get to talk to some administrators, those are all options. And so we hope that you'll take advantage. If you're interested in that, we usually accept applications at the end of the fall semester so that our new family members start with us in the spring. We also know that one of the family's favorite resources is one of our unofficial resources. And so the Family to Family Facebook group. So if you'd like to join the Family to Family Facebook group, it's a really good opportunity for you to connect with other families. It's run by volunteers, but we find that families find it really helpful to get recommendations from this. So whether that be about travel or sending your student a gift or doctors or really anything on campus, you have an opportunity to learn from each other, connect with each other, and really kind of form that community amongst other family members. And so if you'd like to join the family Facebook group, I've created this QR code so you can scan it, request it, make sure you fill out the form and answer all the questions, and then that'll add you to that Facebook group. So really, they are a really great resource to answer lots of questions. And so if you feel like you want to know another parent's perspective, which you've heard today, this is another really way to get another parent's perspective. So hopefully you will use that as a resource for you all. Lastly, if you have questions for my office, we have dedicated email addresses and phone numbers just for families. And so you can go to the website for families, which is umass.edu/parents, or email us at umassparents@umass.edu, or call us at 413-577-44444. And so that is all I have to say, but I really hope that you will continue to engage with us. And we know that you are an important part of your student success. And so we really do spend a lot of time engaging and thinking about how we interact with families. And so I hope that you all will continue to engage with us. And I'm going to turn it back over to Rachel.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Those was really important information, and I know that transition can be so challenging and so many questions. And I think what the important thing is, I'm seeing a lot of questions in the Q&A about housing and connecting to various supports on campus and departments and so forth. And I think Jonathan will agree with me that the important thing is that there are people who can answer these questions at length for you, whether it be in your office regarding student success and student life, or in the academic departments. So for example, have lots of questions about like Eisenberg and so on. They're actually really happy to answer those questions as well. Are there some resources that you recommend families reach out to address their specific questions?
Yeah, so if you have a question really about the new student process and how they take placement exams or do guide to the U, all of those things, you can obviously call my office using that family line that I just showed. If you have questions specifically about your student's college, their information is listed online. But also, if you were ever really just confused and don't know where to start, I would recommend starting with the Dean of Students office. It is the office that I also get the pleasure of working in, and we will really make sure that you get to the appropriate resource because we understand that families maybe sometimes don't always know what office to call in. So you can really call the Dean of Students office for anything like that. And so that number is 413-545-2684, and we'll make sure you get to the right resource. That will really they'll be able to help you and connect you to the right folks. But there are lots of different resources on campus, like Rachel said, that we would be happy to connect you with, whether that's financial aid, whether that is the bursar's office, any of those things. We're happy to connect you with that. And so I saw that there was a question if we will share the QR code again. Yes, I can share my screen so that you all can see that again. Let me do that. Okay, so I put the QR code back on the screen if you all want to join the Family to Family Facebook group. And yeah, were there other questions, Rachel, that I should answer?
No, I think point people in the right direction is what's important, because
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm looking at about 60 questions that need to be answered, and we have about 5 minutes left. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking that we're good, but we're not that good. I would
Yes.
also advise families that when it comes to academic questions, major specific, or the schools and colleges, most of them, if not all, I would actually put money on all, have a great email address. It's advising at, and it'll tell you the name of the college that goes with it. And they really are very responsive and able to answer all those questions. So Jonathan, thank you so much for this great information. I think I'd actually like to call back our tour guides. If you have a moment to come back on screen and answer a fun question. So we've talked a lot about UMass and what is going on here all the time. There's something on campus. What about off campus? What is it like to be in the 5-college Pioneer Valley, Happy Valley, as we like to refer to ourselves? What do you ladies do when you're not answering the world's questions and working your tails off?
I could go first. So there's so much to do at Amherst, but also so much to do outside of Amherst. So like if we're talking not going to classes, we have downtown Amherst, which we can walk to. It's like a 5-7 minute walk, great restaurants. Right next to it is Amherst College. So sometimes Amherst College throws events and we can go to those events. So it's very nice to just like see another college life. We can walk to it. We have Northampton, which is about like a 15-minute bus ride from campus. How do we get around campus? We use a PVTA bus system. Every single student gets to use a bus for free. All you need is your U card. So people ask questions like, should I bring a car on campus? It's okay if you bring a car on campus in your first year, but you don't have to because we have the bus system and that's pretty reliable. I don't have a car on campus and I've been able to move around campus very easily. So there's Northampton, which is like 15 minutes away. And then if you want to go to like New York, Boston, DMV, we have the Peter Pan bus system and the Greyhound bus system. So the Peter Pan bus system does have a stop on campus, which is just very helpful. It's not free, unfortunately, but it is a little bit, you do have to pay a little bit just to go go that far out, but it's just very convenient to have a stop on campus. And we have the Amtrak in Northampton as well. So there's a lot of ways to go off campus, but also return back to Amherst. So off to Dan.
I actually like to joke about parking on campus. It's going to cost you a lot more than you want to pay, and your parking spot won't be anywhere near your residence hall. But if you want one on campus, you can do it. What do you do when you're off campus?
So normally on my free time, I'll probably UMass typically sends out an email every Thursday night letting us all know what's going on, whether it's on campus or off campus or in the surrounding area. So may that be a farmer's market that's going on downstairs, in downtown Amherst, or a club is hosting a particular event. You will always know what's going on all around you, and you'll never feel like there's nothing to do. You'll probably feel like you want to go for more than 3 events at once, and you can't go for all of them. So you will always be updated with that email, and that's typically what I do. I'll look at that email, find out a bunch of different things that are going on. May that be a club event or a theater performance that's going on, or maybe a different painting event that's being hosted by maybe my RA on the floor. But it's just, there's always so much to do out here. So yeah, that's typically what I do on my weekends.
Fantastic. And while I have you both on screen, you have very unique perspectives as international students. What was that like integrating into the UMass campus? Whoever feels like grabbing it first.
I get to go for that. I think for me, coming in was really easy, and finding my people was really easy. Um, I would not say it would be easy always. You do have to put yourself out there. And I think that was something, it took me a couple of weeks to figure out. My first few days I would spend alone in my dorm, and I had no idea what to do and how to go into the dining common and have friends or ask someone to get lunch or dinner with me. But eventually, once you start putting yourself out there and just talking to people, it's as simple as saying, "Hey, what's your name? I'm Diana. Nice to meet you," and get that conversation going, strike a conversation with someone, find something interesting that you'll both like in common, and just take it from there. I think it was really easy in the sense of there are so many people out here at UMass, that no matter what kind of group or what kind of people you find or like or are attracted to, you will find that group out here for yourself, and you will find that tiny community within this big bowl of people sitting out here. So yeah, I think it was, in a sense, it was hard because it was new, and it was hard to always put myself out there and have your best foot forward when you're meeting new people. But at the same time, it pushed me to do something I typically would have never done back home. So it was great in that sense.
Fantastic. That's so good to hear.
I would say the same, just because again, I came to UMass not knowing anybody. Like I had no friends here. Like I just landed in Amherst and I knew I was going to be a UMass student. But I did do 2 things I think really did help. And as Deanna said, like you do have to put yourself out there and like step out of your comfort zone. So that's something that I would say if your kids are on here, if it's just parents, you would advise your kids to do, just go to that event or just go to that party, or just do it, because sometimes it's like you get in your head about it, especially as a freshman. But just encouraging yourself to do as many as you can take, not to overwhelm yourself. But the first thing I did was to join the Facebook group chat. So every year has a Facebook group chat, so I joined it just to like get to know about the random people in my class, maybe find a first friend. And how it works with the Facebook group chat is, when you commit to UMass, you can search up your class on Facebook, and then the admin would let you in once we see that you've committed to us. And you just get to like learn more about people in your class, maybe find a roommate if you want, just like find people in the same major, the same class and stuff like that. And then the second thing that I did was to join a RAP. So a RAP is a residential academic program. And this is where you get to live with like-minded individuals. How it works is there's a RAP in different like parts of UMass. So I joined the business RAP because I'm in Eisenberg. And it was called PI, which is like advancing like diverse students in business, basically. So that's what this RAP was about. And we all got to live on the same floor. We took one class together. I think like 17 of us took one class together. And the class was right in our residential hall, so we didn't have to leave our halls. It was so helpful. And those were my first friends that I ever made at UMass. Until today, the majority of my friends are from that RAP. So I would say definitely mention the idea. How it works with RAPs, if you search up UMass RAP, it would show you all the ones that we offer. I do believe they are first first served. So that's something that your students can be looking forward to see if they want to join that.
Well, I'm going to highlight something you said that might have escaped by going by very quickly. That RAP has less than 20 students in it. So yours was 17. They are capped at 20. So I know there's a lot of concern that families have regarding and students around the size of classes and access to professors and advisors. I know the majority of classes at UMass have less than 40 students. I think the average is 38. Psychology has large classes, but there still are smaller classes. What has your experience been in how you're able to access your faculty and advisors? Whoever wants to jump in first.
I can go ahead. So I think it sounds a little cliche or cringy to say, but I literally walk into my advisor's office every single day almost. I have all my classes in the same building that she has her office in. We talk, we hang out, we talk about life, not only about academics. She's honestly in some way my best friend out here because she knows everything about me from my first semester till my senior year now. So in the sense of advisors, I think everyone has great accessibility to them. You can always book an appointment with them through a certain portal that we have called Navigate. So that is very easy, and you can have them literally go into their offices, go in for that drop-in hours, office hours. It's great. Other than that, when it comes to faculty, yes, you may be in a few big classes initially when you go in. Maybe those are your gen ed classes or your introductory classes for your major. However, UMass does a great job at making these big classes feel small as well. This is mainly through office hours that our professors hold or even our TAs hold. We also have discussion sections. So you have the big lectures maybe twice a week, and then you have a small discussion at the end of the week on a Friday where it's just 15 kids in one class, and you probably do a group project together in that time or a worksheet, and you can sit and have that one-on-one time where you can ask them those questions. And even during those big lectures, professors like to know if everyone's following everything that's going on. So we have eye clickers, and it's kind of like Kahoot, but in college. And you can use these eye clickers the professor will probably ask you a question, and you can indicate the answer, what you think it is, on your eye clicker. And if everyone probably gets the answer wrong, he or she is going to go over it again and re-explain that same matter. So it may be intimidating initially, but there are always these small little things that UMass does to make sure that you have one-on-one contact with your professors at all time.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Did you want to add anything?
No, she answered that so well.
I know, right? It was kind of perfect. Well, that's okay because we're coming to the end of our time. And what I will say, certainly this is a virtual event. I know it's not possible for everyone to visit campus. If you're able to, we would love to have you on campus. You can sign up for a tour of campus as well as information sessions. If that doesn't fit into your schedule, the times that are offered, we also have a self-guided tour. There's nothing that you have to do on campus per se. Once you park in the parking garage, you're in the right place to be centrally located and explore not only UMass, but then also the surrounding area as well. If you're not able to visit us in person, then certainly there are other virtual opportunities as well, including admitted student virtual events. So definitely visit our website to learn more about those opportunities. I want to thank everyone so much, all my panelists and tour guides, for joining me on this beautiful afternoon. And again, my heartfelt congratulations to your students and to you as what I hope are very proud parents. Thank you so much, and go UMass.